Hey gang, today we're going to do Joe Walsh's Life's Been Good, the introduction to that song from 1978. I'm going to do it all on this one guitar from the intro part, that part all the way through to the acoustic, and let's do it. First, let's talk about the sound. For the beginning part, this part, all the way through the slide part, I'm using a Vox AC15 type sound out of an amp modeler, my G3X, and I've got a little bit of room reverb on it, so just a tiny amount of reverb. I'm playing using this Gibson Melody Maker. It only has one pickup. This is not really a pickup right there. It only has one pickup. It's a single coil, and this one's got kind of an edge. You know what? You can use like a Tele pickup with the Tele bridge pickup. That'd sound great. Or you know, I like this because it has a little more growl to it. It's kind of between a Tele bridge pickup and a P90, so it gives me just that little more growl, and I kind of like that for this sound, for this song. And then on the back end, what I'm doing is doing a little fancy footwork, and I'm doing a amp modeler acoustic. So we've got that going on. Okay, gang, let's go through this, if not note for note, at least close enough to get it so that we get the basic sound and feel of it. You know, close enough for Joe Walsh sort of thing. All right? Because it's got to be loose. And that's important. Okay, there's three parts to this. The first part is the most recognizable, right? That part right there. The second part is normally played with a slide. We're just going to use our fingers. Okay, it's this part. And the third is an acoustic sound, but it's this part. Okay, and that's on the acoustic. We'll do that sound when we get to it. Okay, here we go. Here's the first part. Now the first part is a repeated line with flavors at the end. So the line that's repeated is this thing. That's repeated like 3 times out of 4 anyway. So how am I doing that? That's important to get that one right. So you'll notice it's a real aggressive sound. It's not like a... No, it's not that. It's... So how do you do that? You got to pick very aggressively. You got to play it staccato, and I'll show you how I do it. So I do it with a chicken picking technique, and if you look at my right hand, I'm actually pulling up on a note. Okay. Now you can do that with a real aggressive downstroke, and you'll get it. So that works. All right. But whatever works for you, whatever you want it. Whatever you do, don't use real wimpy stuff. You got to really thwack it with the right hand. Got it? Good. We're good. All right. So let's get the first line down really well. And here's what it is. We're going to start with this is all on the 5th and the 3rd strings. Most of it's on the 5th. So we're going to hit on the 2nd fret and bend down between a half step and a whole step. Okay? And that's where the looseness comes. So it's... and pull off. And pull off really strongly. Don't do this. No, you got to pull off really strongly. Okay, so that's the first part, the pull off. You pull off to the open string. And then you hit on the second, slide up to the fourth, and hit the A, which is the second fret on the third string. So you got to skip the fourth string. Okay, that's the line that's repeated. Okay? It happens 4 times. So the first time that line happens, it's followed by this. Okay? So what that one is hitting the open string, and the same slide, second to fourth. But this time you're hitting the second fret on the fourth string, which is an E. And then you're hitting, instead of the sliding up to the fourth and doing it, but you're gonna hit the third on the fifth string, bend up a half step or so, and hit that A on the third again. You're gonna do the same string skip. So it sounds like this. Okay, one time slowly. Those last 2 notes are just an A chord, okay? And I'm not hitting the top string, just 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay? So again, the important thing is not to play it like this. No, you don't want to. No, you want to do this. Okay? Good. Hope you got that. Then you repeat that first line. Okay? And the only thing different about the second one is where you end up. So instead of going like this, oops. Instead of this, you do this, which is the open fourth string, which is a D. And then you play a D chord on the 4, 3, and 2 strings, okay? So this little guy D, except you don't play the top string. And he gets a couple of little ticks before he, like a chuk-it-bam. So I'm palm muting on the right hand. Okay? So it's like this. Here's the first 2 lines. And then he hits that A chord before he goes into the next line. So the next line is the only one that's different of the first 3, and it starts out with this. So that one's pretty simple, although you have to do that real aggressive picking again. That's just on the second fret, 5th string. You hit it, bend it up a half or a whole, somewhere between, and then do that twice and then pull off to open. Okay, then it's your familiar. We've already covered that. And finally, the last one is just like the second. Okay, and now you're into the slide part. All right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. You're repeating that phrase a lot. And then it's either this one or it's this one. One of those 2. All right. Here's the slide part. Okay, that's the first line. And what that is I'm hitting the open. Basically, I'm primarily using the 4, 3, and the 5, 4, and 3 strings. And when I hit, and I'll show you when I hit the second one. But I'm being deliberately a little bit sloppy and hitting that open A note and letting that kind of ring. And whenever I feel it needs to ring, I'm going to hit it again. So that's just on the 4th and the 3rd, you're playing on the 5th fret and dragging it down to the 4th, and then playing the 2nd. You do that twice. The last part part is sliding all the way up to the 14th fret and hitting that and letting that ring. Okay, that's just the octave of the A that's down here. Okay, that's the first line. The second line is the same thing, except you slide to the D. So it's very, very similar to the opening phrase, isn't it? You go A, then you go D, then you go A, then you go D, then you go A, then you go... Okay. Did I say fifth? I meant seventh. That's the D. Notice I'm still hitting that open A to give the illusion of the A chord and the open note and the jangliness and the sloppiness and all that stuff. Okay? So that happens twice. You do this once. Do one last time where you go all the way up to the A on the 14th. Okay? So again, that line is just fairly straightforward. It's just this guy followed by either that one or this one. If you listen to the song, you'll get it. There's actually, he does that 5 times instead of 4, which is a little bit unique. Last time he does it to this. Okay, here's the last part. And this is done on it's an acoustic guitar, and I think it's actually 2. So there's one where he's hitting that bottom note, which is an F chord. So I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm playing this. A little out of tune, huh? Not too bad. All right. So that's an F chord. I'll hit it twice. And then I'm doing some triads. So I'm just using the first 3 strings. The first one is an A minor triad. And I'm playing the first 3 strings, which is 5, 5, 5. And then I'm going to a G major triad. And that is 4, 3, 3. And then to an F major triad, which is 2, 1, 1. And then an A minor. I like playing it open so I can try and let that A note ring out when I do this. And it's almost the same thing. You do the A minor triad, the G major triad, and then instead of the F, which is 2, 1, 1, you do 2, 1, 0, which is an A minor triad. Then that whole thing is repeated. And the last 2 notes are open, basically everything open, and then play a real A minor there. Alright, and then you're in the middle of the song. We're not going to cover that part or the solo. But that intro, way cool. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, comments, suggestions, all the rest.